water actually starts coming out?
Yes, water streams start flowing in areas which were
Desert.
bad. Because now you are doing, you're running cows through the area, and then you're now going back to the original thing. So I have explained how it works, right? The dung beetles, everyone contributes to that. Then the soil becomes like a sponge. And then the water holding capacity goes up. So when the water holding capacity reaches maximum, then water is going to start flowing on the top. And they've seen that. And I'm not talking about, I'm not talking now about Vedic things. I'm talking about right now. They are doing it in America. They're doing it in Australia. They're doing it everywhere, and it's working. So when we're fighting the system, we're going the wrong way. Then we start to put pesticide. Oh, look at my cabbages got eaten by one bug. Then you spray, DDT or whatever chemical, everywhere, and you kill everything. And now you're killing, So if those living entities are there, they're put by Krishna. They also need their food, right? So you take your loss. And my cabbages, I put some cabbages there. They're getting eaten. I don't care. Let them eat. If you give them something to eat, they'll eat that, but they won't eat the other thing. But if you put one crop of only cabbages and you just give them, they'll eat that whole crop. But the other crops, when you mix them together, they will eat that crop, but they won't eat the other. But if you give them a food source that's like completely, 1 hectare of food source, they will breed like anything. Right? And then on top of it, when you're spraying the pesticides, you're killing the predators also. So there's no control. So it's a cycle, vicious cycle. You're going all the wrong way. That's what happens.
So your article is called Cows Give Water.
I can share that also. Cows give us water. It explains the whole thing. It shows like. So they're taking down the nutrient. They're doing everything. They're doing all the work that we are supposed to be doing, or we want to do, or we want to mimic, and be Krishna.
But then how do you deal with all the weeds? Like in one of the farms, we have these honey muskeets which have like long thorns.
Yeah.
And as I cut them, they keep coming back. So for them, would you recommend chemical fertilizers or rather pesticides or no?
No, I wouldn't. What I would do, even we have them there, if you can cut them, you can cut them down, right? It is like if you want to do farming, but you want to do it autopilot and not take care of your land in the beginning. And actually, you know what? If you have problem on your land with put a goat or a few goats, because that goat will and put a fence and put that goat there, and that goat will attack and attack and attack until that thing will not be able to grow, because the goat will just eat all the leaves. The goat eats anything, but you have to put a fence around it, and you have to make sure it has water, or you can put 2-3 goats. And if you've got a place where there's too many trees, you put fencing, and you make sure, because something will come and attack it. But if you're not there also, it's also autopilot, right? So, but that is one thing you can do, because goats will finish off everything. They eat anything, So that's one way. I had on our farm in Ahmedabad, we had something. You heard of Congress grass? It's like, I think I've seen it here. It comes with that white. It's very bad for cows.
Right.
But my bulls ate it. And they finished it. They've been trying to get rid of it. They finished it off. I don't know how. Nothing happened to them. It's poisonous technically, But they grazed it. And they finished it. I was feeding them the feed, and they ate that, and they also ate the Congress where they were. And because they were walking and stamping and walking in that area for 6 hours, it just
they cannot grow again because they have already trampled them.
They trample them, they eat them, they split the like if you split the stem, like it's become like split, so now it can't even, like if you cut it, it's easy for it to come back, but if you split the stem, it dries out completely. It will dry down to the root. So somehow or the other, I don't know what exactly happened, I'm theorizing, but Congress grass finished, and that whole Congress field was full of Congress grass. Next season, when the rains come, all different things came up, all different kinds of wild grasses and everything. So just by doing that process, just following that, and now they are doing that in Vrindavan also. They're following the same same process.
But if land is undulating, see this land is flat, but if land is undulating, would you recommend
No.
digging even once or no? Just leave
would,
it natural?
I would prefer to leave it like that.
Mhm.
You know, when you have undulating land, it's like if you have a high hill and you have sun, if you plant something on this side, they will thrive if they need shade. Otherwise, you're going to have to put shade cloth or something, right? Like this tree is giving shade. And I'll tell you practically from my example, we had neem tree in our Ahmedabad farm. So neem tree was growing like this here, right? That's not neem, right? It's not neem, right?
No, that's not neem. No,
It looks something. So
it's probably a pecan tree.
they can.
Mm.
So what would happen is, look, here is the neem tree, right? And I had tomatoes. So I had tomatoes here, tomatoes here, tomatoes here, tomatoes here. So my tomatoes on that side were thriving. And literally you could see a graft line going down. From them going, and I guess they were exposed to the sun also, but you know, and I was putting water and everything. All the trees, all the tomato plants next to the tree were thriving. I know neem gives a lot of rich nutrients, but still, the point is, so undulating, why do we remove all the trees from the land? Because we want to run the tractor, right?
Mhm.
Because that's the problem, right? So the tractor comes, you know, Prabhupada said, once you create something, then there's this problem, that problem, that problem. That's why you have big flat lands, and you know, when you this won't be good farmland, right?
Mhm.
This tree is in the way, sorry, that tree is, I can't move my tractor, I have to move my, cut the trees, make it flat. If the land is like this, then it's not good. This is all tractor mentality. So you bring that problem first, right? You create the thing, and when you create the beast is going to feed off everything else. The beast is going to eat, it's going to want to eat this, everything. It wants to feed. Because we think that we know better how to do things. So when you bring the tractor and you do all these things, you have to adjust. If you had a cow here, a bull, would this be a problem?
No.
Huh? And if the soil was like cotton, would you have a problem? No. So we've gone so far, so we make one thing, and then because of that thing, we make another thing and another thing and another thing and another thing. And then by the time 60 years later, all our soil is destroyed, and then we're thinking, what happened? It's trying to be over smart. So land has so much like life in it, you know.
But even here in the Dallas Fort area, land has life because some of it is heavy clay, right? So it doesn't have soil in it.
Yeah, but there's life. There's life.
Yeah, this is life. This is unusual because if you
Because
come
most
to
people
my
spray.
farm, you see that it's mostly hard concrete-like clay.
Yeah. But who was doing what before you bought it?
Oh, it was grazing land, so there were cows, a lot of cows.
So they were grazing, and then they were doing hay, and they were fertilizing it.
That part I don't know.
Yeah, because if hay production means you're going to have to do that, right?
Hmm.
So this is what they're doing. They're stripping the land of all the value, and then they sell it off, and then they move to somewhere else.
Like in the 70s, they were doing cotton farming there. And then for last 30 years, it's been a grazing land. So there's not been any cotton.
But how you graze?
Hmm.
If you just graze to the point, I spoke to the guy from USDA. He said that people just graze the land completely.
Hmm.
You know, when a cow eats, you will see, observe. The first time it bites, it will bite this top part, the sweetest part.
Hmm.
Second time it will go down. Third time it will go right down.
Right down.
But it prefers, like if you have a choice, you have your dessert and you have this and that. So or like the choice of fruits, right? You take the best fruits. If some fruit is not, like, you know, part of the fruit is not good, you know, maybe chiku or something like that. You can eat the skin, but you might prefer to eat the inside part, right? But you can eat it.
Hmm.
So first of all, you go for the best.
Mhm.
So they prefer to choose, and then they move.
So it cannot be put on autopilot. You have to keep on managing this.
Like our cows are working on autopilot. Why? Because there's enough land.
Mm.
So they just keep moving from here to here to here, and you don't have to manage them.
Mm.
You don't. Literally, because if you have 7 cows and you have 200 acres, and they have you seen the cows?
Yes.
They're massive,
Mm.
only eating grass. In the ponds, they're drinking water. I'm not doing anything to them, and I don't interfere with them.
Mm.
They run away anyway, because that's the thing. So it's fine.
But once you do intensive, then they will go for everything.
Yeah.
And there's hardly anything
Yeah.
left. So maybe the previous owner,
Intensive.
but he only had like 10 cows for 84 acres. So that could not have been intensive.
No, it could be.
It could be.
It depends on 10 cows on 84. 1 acre. Yeah. But it depends. What else was there before?
Mm. Yeah, not all 84 was usable
Yeah.
though. Mm. There was grass on some, but not on
Not
all.
on
the-
all.
okay.
So probably some of it. So then he's not managing them.
Mm.
Usually they just put them, and then when they're fat, then they get rid of them, right?
Mm.
Now there's no cows. He sold them
No, there's no cows. For the last 2.5 years, no cows. It's
to-
been fallow now, which is a good thing also because its land is getting
You-
opportunity to regenerate.
Yeah, but also again, when it regenerates, when you have this soil, and if they're eating, because I guess you got to watch that video also, it explains more. The other thing that they do, in Africa, they have savanna,
Mhm.
so the grass grows this tall.
Mm.
So when you leave it fallow also, that means the grass is this tall. How can new growth come? Because grass eventually dies and it becomes brown, right?
Mm.
Then what are you going to do? You're going to burn it. But the cows, when they come, and they come in big amounts or big groups, what they're going to do? They come and they all sit down. And they press that down. They eat and they also press. When you got a large herd of cows, what do? They sit down, right?
Mm.
So then when they sit down, they press all that thing down. So it all becomes flat.
Mm.
And when it's flattened, something can grow.
Mm.
Because sunlight cannot penetrate.
Yeah, when I
Three-
saw
three, 4
in May and June,
Yeah.
the grass was like this high. Very high.
So something to grow from there.
It's a challenge.
It's very, very difficult for it to get through. That it's going to be dark and dense at the bottom.
Mm.
And plus, sometimes fungus forms and all of that at the bottom.
Which is not good for the land.
Not really.
Mm.
Because a different process, then the rotting process starts. I mean, it may be good, but then the rotting process starts, then it will naturally rot and fall down. So you're looking at a longer time period now, for your land to recover. But when the action is there, the animals, like the cows, then it accelerates the process. So it's not just one, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, everything put together. So
Mm.
that's how it goes. If I share all the articles with you, you'll understand. I've given the overview. So I'll share that Alan Savory one. I'll share my article and the other animation.